Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
You ever stop and wonder why millions of people will hang on every single word from Taylor Swift? Or why some will defend someone like Elon Musk with a kind of, well, religious passion? It's not just that they're fans. No, it's something way deeper, something older, and honestly, a lot more powerful. Let's get into the psychology behind this whole modern form of devotion.
See, it all really boils down to this one fundamental question. Why do we, as people, seem to have this built-in need to worship something? It's this deep impulse that has literally shaped civilizations for all of human history. And as we're about to see, that impulse, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just found a new, much more brightly lit stage.
So to really understand what's happening today, we've got to look back, because this isn't some newfangled internet thing. Nope, it's a core part of the human operating system.
For thousands and thousands of years, this drive has been the engine behind human culture. I mean, think about it. We seem to be hardwired to look for something that's bigger than ourselves. We want a story to be a part of, a community to belong to, and something to focus all that devotion on. It gives our lives a sense of order and purpose and connection in what can feel like a really chaotic world. This need, it's as real as our need for food and water.
Okay, so what happens when those traditional places for all that devotional energy, religion, community structures, what happens when they start to fade? Well, that powerful human impulse, it has to go somewhere.
That energy, it doesn't just disappear into thin air. As our faith in some of the older traditional institutions starts to shrink, that incredibly powerful human need for worship starts looking for new idols, and it latches on to the most visible, the most influential, the most charismatic figures in our world today, celebrities.
And you can really see how the focus of our worship is shifted. On one hand, you have traditional religion, which is all about the transcendent, the otherworldly, right? But celebrity worship, that's totally grounded in worldly success. It's what some of the source material calls neo-pagan idolatry, which is basically a fancy way of saying we're now celebrating things like wealth and appearance and influence. But here's the crazy part. The way we do it, the rituals, the community, the sheer faith, it all looks eerily similar.
So how is this new form of worship actually built? Let me tell you, it's not an accident. It's engineered, piece by piece, and it happens right inside our own heads. This whole engineering process is built on a really important psychological idea, the parasocial relationship. It's that feeling that you know a celebrity, like you know them personally. This right here is the engine of modern fandom. It's this intimate but totally one-sided bond where you invest real, genuine emotion into someone who, let's be honest, probably has no idea you even exist.
And these relationships are built so deliberately. First, you've got repeated exposure. You see these people everywhere on TV and movies, all over your social media feeds, until they start to feel familiar, almost like friends. Then comes step 2, curated authenticity. You get the behind-the-scenes photos, the vulnerable personal posts. It's all designed to build your trust. And finally, you get simulated interaction. Every like, every comment, every potential reply from that little blue check mark, it feels like a personal conversation, making that illusion of a bond even stronger.
And as if that psychological hook wasn't strong enough, it gets supercharged by our own brain chemistry. There's a biological component here. Every notification, every new post from your favorite celebrity, it triggers a little hit of dopamine in your brain. And this creates a seriously powerful addiction loop. You crave that little buzz, you check your phone for an update, you get the reward, and the cycle just keeps going, conditioning you to want that constant engagement.
So once that connection is made, and it's being reinforced by chemicals in your own brain, it creates something else. It creates a powerful, and sometimes a pretty dangerous kind of loyalty.
This quote just nails it. In the world of extreme fandom, being certain is everything. The absolute, unwavering confidence of an idol, or even their most devoted fans, can just steamroll over critical thinking. It's a weird but dangerous feature of our own psychology. Our brains are basically wired to mistake confidence for being correct. This loyalty gets locked in with tactics that, well, they can look a lot like the playbook for a cult. It starts with flattery. That validation from the group feels so good, it's addictive. Then you get drawn in with small agreements, which makes it way harder to say no to bigger things later.
And inside these fan armies like the Beehive for Beyoncé or the Swifties for Taylor Swift, if you stay silent, it's often seen as you agreeing with the group, which pressures everyone to just go along. And here's the final lock. Dissent gets punished, and brutally. Anyone who dares to criticize the idol is attacked, they're cast out. All that does is make the group that's left even tighter and more irrationally defensive.
But look, this isn't just about a few individuals and their favorite stars. This whole phenomenon, it has a massive cost, and it's a cost for all of us.
The philosopher Guy Debord had a name for this. He called it the Society of the Spectacle. And what it means is we're living in a world where we become passive observers of life instead of active participants. We're sort of encouraged to just watch the lives of other people, these perfect, curated celebrity lives, instead of actually fully living our own.
When you get right down to it, this whole system can act as a really powerful form of social control. It keeps us distracted, right? It keeps us entertained, focused on trivial things. We're so busy debating celebrity drama or rushing to buy the products they're selling that we don't engage with bigger, more complex, more urgent issues in the world. We become a society of spectators, where our main job is just to watch and to consume.
Which really just leaves us with one final and pretty important question to ask ourselves. When your sense of who you are, what you value, and who your community is, when all of that is built around worshiping another person, whose life are you actually living? And what happens to your own, authentic self when you're so busy performing loyalty to someone else?